A few examples pertaining to geometrical isomerism we discussed in previous classes. We have listed out a few from optical isomerism, including some definitions. So let us do some exercise regarding this metamerism, optical isomerism, etc. Here are the questions. You can see that the first question is a very simple one. It asks the optical isomers are not mirror images, are called as the diastereoisomers. Okay. If you have mirror images, this one is diastereoisomer. If you have mirror images, then it is the enantiomer. Okay, these are exact mirror images. Now the meso compounds are something you have your D and L mixtures that are already there. It's an inherent property, internal property of a molecule in which one component will rotate the plane polarity towards right and the other one being towards the left, and therefore they will cancel each other. So that will be called as the meso. You can have a DL mixture also. This is an external mixture, and you can mix them together. So diastereoisomers are isomers in which you don't have any mirror images. For example, we have seen in the case of carbohydrates like this. Okay, so we have drawn 3, 4, 5, 6 CH2OH here. You can see that in one isomer OH may be here, in another isomer OH may be here. So that makes the difference, and that will be called as the diastereoisomer. Now metamers, there are 3 different types of metamers. In chemistry, the metamer is the functional group. For example, if you have CS2, CS2O, CS2 here, it's a kind of ester or ether. And then you can have methyl propyl ether for the same molecule like this. You can have like this one. Okay, the O is changing, but this becomes an ether. So this is one kind of a metamer. Another metamer is in biology you have, I think probably in earthworms you have the segments. They are similar in the segments. A particular process they are having metamers in earthworms in biology. Another one is in the optical, the spectral properties. When you measure the color, you have the color similarity. Color similarity will be there. That is, in the MSc classes, you will be taking Nessler's tubes in which we will put a solution. That is a nickel or copper solution of a particular concentration, and then the unknown solution that will be given will also have the same color, and you will make different dilutions. If you compare, you can just write out which concentration is giving similar colors. So metamers is having, for science students, they should know 3 types, 3 definitions, but for us this will be important, where the number of carbon atoms on the other side of the central molecule or central atom is different. So the answer is diastereoisomers. Okay, and the next one is enantiomers have which of the following characters? They rotate ordinary light, that they don't do it, have the same melting point, they don't do it, and the superimposable mirror images. That is, the melting point, it may be sometimes changing. That is the only thing that you can differentiate. So I am just making a correction there. So this one is the right answer. They are not superimposable images. They react with optically active molecules at the same rate. It is also not right there. Superimposable means, you should know what is superimposable. Impose means something which you place. My hands are superimposable now. Okay. But one is right hand, the other one is left hand. There are mirror images. If you place a mirror here, you have got 2 items identical. Thumb versus thumb, index finger, middle finger, like that. And that you join together, you can have a superimposed thing. So that is the property with the isomers there. But the enantiomers are mirror images. They are not superimposable. That type is also there. There are mirror images which are superimposable. There are mirror images which are not superimposable. So enantiomers are superimposable mirror images. Then our 25 is answer is right. We have the same melting point B. I think there are mirror images, not superimposable. Right? Okay. Now the same melting point, right? Now the next question is, which of the following statement is false about enantiomers? So you should know that these are all something very much connected with the optical isomerism. And we have, whenever the word optical isomerism is there, you have to remember it. The plane polarized light, I have told you, the plane polarized light is the rotation of the polarized light in a particular direction. So they are all rotate the same. So it's asking which is false. So this is true and this is false. They are not superimposable. So you get answer from there also. And they are superimposable, non-superimposable, right? And this is also same melting point. These are three things are right. So the right answer is B. Here the right answer is also B. Here the right answer is A. Okay. And at the beginning, I told you what a meso compound is. A meso compound, the four options that are given are, is an ichiral molecule which contains chiral carbons. Okay. And B is contains a plane of symmetry or a center of symmetry. C, optically inactive, is characterized by all of the above. So you can see meso compound definitely will be having a chiral carbons. It is having a chiral carbon. Okay. Then it contains a plane of symmetry or a center of symmetry. That is why you are having it as a meso compound. This is also right. It is also optically inactive because of that. Because it is having a plane of symmetry or center of symmetry, it is optically inactive. That means the D is the right answer. So you have the components of the mesoisomer in that particular order. It's a chiral molecule which contains chiral carbons and achiral molecule. Molecule itself is achiral. Okay, that means it is not having the properties of symmetry. Okay, but it contains a plane of symmetry and center of symmetry. Plane of symmetry is a plane drawn along a molecule which cuts equal groups on both sides. Which cuts equal groups on both sides. Similarly, it is having a center of symmetry. Center of symmetry is any point in a molecule, any point in a molecule, so that at equal distances from that point, same groups are met. Okay, so it will be something like this. Center molecule. So here you'll have A, and here also you'll have A. And here if you have B, here also if you have B. And here if you have D, here also you have D. These things are quite opposite. This is a center point, and this is quite opposite, and this is quite opposite, and this is quite opposite. If you change these groups, they are not symmetrical. Okay. Now the question number 28, it is connected with the most fundamental aspect which we have seen in the beginning. What is the possible number of optical isomers for a compound containing n dissimilar atoms? Yes, n dissimilar atoms. So the general question is, answer is 2 power n. It's the right answer. Okay. So let us come to the next part of the discussion. What is the possible number? Here, earlier it was just a formula. Now it has been a substituted solved problem. What is the possible number of optical isomers for a compound containing two dissimilar asymmetric atoms? You have to take the earlier formula in which you wrote 2 power n. Okay. So because he is giving two dissimilar atoms, the formula is 2 power n. Here n is equal to 2. So it is 2 power 2 equal to 4. 4 is the right answer there. Okay. Now the next question number 30 is the mesotartaric acid is sometimes optically active, always optically active, sometimes optically inactive, always optically inactive. What will be that? I think I told you to write the tartaric acid CH3 CHOH CO OH. This is the formula of tartaric acid. So here you will have OH on the right side, H on the left side. Okay, CH3 CHOH and CH3 and COH. So this will have OH on the right side. Okay. So in the next compound, you will have similarly like this CH3, COOH, and H here and OH there. You can see OH is on the left. So this is one isomer. Let us say just it rotates the plane polarity towards right, and this rotates the plane polarity towards left. Within a molecule, if this is 50% and this is 50%, they cancel. They cancel the rotation. So if the rotation is cancelled, they are always optically inactive. This is the right answer. It is not sometimes optically active. If it is optically active, it may be a D and L mixture of about 80% or 80% of D and 20% of L. So it is not optically active. It is not sometimes. Sometimes it is optically active. So the option D is the right answer. Okay. So the next question number 31. Which of the following compounds will be optically active? Propanoic acid, 3-chloropropanoic acid, 2-chloropropanoic acid, and 3-chloropropene. I think for this you have to note the structure. Let us just try writing the structure. How simple way you can write the structure is, you first propanoic acid means you just remember you should have 3 carbon atoms. Okay. So here is the 3 carbon atoms means, it is inclusive of 3-chloropropanoic acid and 2-chloropropanoic acid is 4. Right? So here you will have 1, 2, and 3 numbering from the right side. Now you can see that this is not having any double bond, or this is not having any symmetric carbon atom. It's having similar atoms. Okay. Similar atoms means, if it is connected by similar atoms, then it becomes difficult to clarify that. The propanoic acid doesn't, same thing can be asked for the geometrical isomerism also. And you'll see that all these things are satisfied. So you don't have any chirality. So this is not the right answer. Then 3-chloropropanoic acid. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. 3-chloro. Only this will be substituted by this. 3-chloropropanoic acid means, you will have 2 similar atoms there. Okay, because it is having 2 similar atoms, this is also not the right. Okay. Now the next one is 2-chloropropanoic acid. So again, I am writing the propanoic acid, C double bond O and H. So you can check the valency of the carbon. Here you have H, and H. This is the second, right? This is 1 and this is 2. 2-chloropropanoic acid. So you can see that you have got 4 different groups there. This is one group, this is another group, and this is another group, and this is another group. So this is an asymmetric carbon atom. We are having asymmetric carbon atom. Therefore, it is optically active. So C is the right answer there. 3-chloropropene. 3-chloropropene. C double bond C, C. Propene is one double bond is there. So you have CH there and CH here, and then here you have CH. It becomes completely symmetrical molecule. So there is no asymmetric carbon atom. So this is not optically active. Only the propanoic acid second C is the right answer. And then quick, a similar question is there, which of the following compounds will be optically active? Succinic acid, isotartaric acid, lactic acid, and tartaric acid. Can you just guess which one is that? We have already seen lactic acid. Lactic acid is optically active, so this is the right answer. In succinic acid, you will have COOH, CHOH, and again the same CHOH, COOH. CH2, COOH, oxalic acid. This is the higher homologue of the oxalic acid. So both atoms are same, therefore it cannot be one. So this is the right thing. Isotartaric acid is optically inactive because the name itself says chloroacetic acid is there. You can write acetic acid, CH2, Cl, C double bond O and OH. This is you are having two hydrogen atoms, therefore this is also not optically active. And only answer is the D. Okay. And then coming to question number 33, which of the following isomeric compound shows optical isomerism? 1 aminopentane, 2 aminopentane, 3 aminopentane, 2,2-dimethyl propylamine. So you have to write all the structures. So let us try the structures writing there. Show optical isomerism. Pentane, you just first to draw the pentane. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so it's a plain molecule and numbering is from right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so the first group is attached to amine. And here you have balanced, you have to balance it by means of the H. So HH, 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 HH. Okay, there is no asymmetric carbon atom. Therefore, this is not the right answer. Therefore, this is not the right answer. Now, the next is you write the C, 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 C. First one, second one, 2 aminopentane. Second one is amino, and here you will have H. Here you will have CH2 or 3. CH3. Here you will have CH3. Here you will have CH2, CH2. So now you can see that this carbon atom is attached to a big propyl group. Here you have methyl group. Here you have hydrogen, and here you have amine. Okay. Therefore, this group is optically, asymmetric compound, and therefore this is the right answer. And that will have on optical activity because of that. 3 aminopentane, just change it TNS to here. If you go 3 aminopentane, you just can write it again. C, 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 C. 3 third carbon atom and H2. Okay, CH2, H3C. CH2, CH3. So now you can see that if you have this particular atom that is attached here, this is a different group, this is a different group. This and this are similar groups. So therefore, they are also not optically active. The last one is 2,2-dimethyl propylamine. Propylamine. Propyl is just a 3 carbon atom. Okay, C, C, C. Okay, the numbering is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And what you can write is 2,2-dimethyl. Here, this is having dimethyl for the second carbon atom. So you have to put 2 and 2 dash, 2 or 2 dash, both are same. Dimethyl propylamine. This is a propyl, and this is NH2, CH, and here you will have CH3. So you can see that there is a lot of symmetry there. Okay, lot of symmetry. So this is also not optically active. So the only right answer is B. B is the right answer. 2-amino pentane is having, it shows optical isomerism. Okay. Now the last question that stands out is the 2-butanol is optically active because it contains A, an asymmetric carbon, a plane of symmetry, C, a hydroxyl group, and a center of symmetry. So you have to write the structure of 2-butanol. Shall we write it? So here, butane, first you write 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Numbering is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 is having alcohol. Okay. And the rest of the thing is this is CH3 and this is CH2 and this is CH2. So this is the 2-butanol. So you can see that one H is here. And 2-butanol is optically active. Is optically active because it contains. So you can see that here you have one group. This is ethyl group. Here you have one methyl group. Here you have one hydroxyl. Here you have hydrogen. So this probably is asymmetric. Asymmetric C atom or chiral center. Okay. So 2-butanol is optically active because it contains, which is the right answer. It doesn't have any plane of symmetry. It doesn't have any center of symmetry. It doesn't have a hydroxyl group. This is the right answer because it has got asymmetric carbon atom. Okay. So now it has become clear that the questions can be asked in some ambiguous manner also. For example, they can ask you, it is 2-butanol is optically active because it is having a methyl, ethyl, and hydrogen. That is also the right thing. But you have to choose which is the most right. So here they can question, it is having a chiral center. That is also right thing. Okay. And similarly, you can see that many number of compounds can be asked. Okay, so just remember the few things from this class that you can write about the meso. You can always differentiate the meso compound and DU mixture. Meso compound is completely disabled and is not optically active, but it will be having 2 isomers which are optically, which are chiral in nature. DL is, whenever you remember that word DL, remember something like a mixture. Okay, DL is always a mixture. You do it from outside. Okay, so that is the point that you found today here, and then the formula you should not forget, and the most importantly, the metamers is having 3 different definitions, and this is just for information and knowledge. Okay, so you should also know what is superimposable image and what is not superimposable image. Okay, so we have solved almost all the problems, and let me conclude here. We shall see some more problems. If you find anything, you can work out here. Thank you for joining us.